Welcome. What's up? Whatever you want to say. Welcome to another edition, another installment of Hashtag Fade to Black Soul Friday. Finally, we did a show on Friday. Finally, after 2 weeks of a hiatus and not doing it, but we're here. I am your host, Monte Morris, here with my dog, my bro, Beast Johnson. How you doing?
It's good with your pimping. It's good with your pimping.
Good. So for the special guest for Bryson Smith, if I said his name right, I hope that's it right. Hopefully, hold up. Bryson Brown. I sent him the notification. Hopefully he comes on the show. If he doesn't, we just can reschedule. But you know what? Today is one of those shows where I want to address something, but majority of the show, I want to just shoot the breeze, because that's what it should be, But
exactly.
But with that being said, two things. Number one, Sky Zone Society, thank you for sponsoring the show. And number two, it is time for us to do opening statements. And I think it's only right that I go ahead and just start off since I got something to, get off my chest. So here we go. All right. So first of all, this is a blue screen behind me, because last time I was trying to show Bryson Brown's merchandise that I got. It was green, and unfortunately, I had a green screen. Y'all know how that goes. And then not to mention Beast was making fun of me, so I had to change it up. All right, so I want to. I did a little show earlier today on the Elamonte show while I was at my hustle, and it was talking about vaccines and how many people are sending out false information about the vaccines and all that stuff. And the one part when I was talking about it that really got me, was the part about friends that I have. Like, for example, people on this panel that I consider friends, brothers, sisters on this show, that choose not to take the vaccine. And I clarified and I said that the reason why I don't get at them as much as I do everybody else, because they're careful. They're smart. They still wear the mask, even though we can all agree that we don't want to wear the mask. I don't want to wear the mask. I'm sick and tired of wearing the damn mask. But I predicted this a long, long time ago. I said this is going to be just like Korea. It's going to be like Japan, where they wear masks almost every single day. We're going to be that. Even though they don't, when they was doing it before the pandemic, they didn't have no disease. They was afraid of getting a common cold. But I stick on it, and I want people to understand that if you got a friend, one back. What I'm saying is, you got people that are reckless, and then you got people that follow the guidelines, that wear the mask. They are careful. So let's talk about your friends that are reckless. These are the people that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that just go anywhere without no damn mask, sit around you just coughing, still want to shake your hand, and they sweating all, just thinking that everything's okay. That's reckless. But then you got people that are careful. The ones that respect that you are, the ones that you got to respect, that they respect that you got vaccinated, but they choose not to, but they still wear a mask around you. That when they sweat, they keep their 6 feet distance apart. That they don't whine and complain about, oh my gosh, the state is taking away my freedom, is taking away my rights. They're basically saying, I'm just going to keep on the mask, but I'm not going to get vaccinated. That's being careful. That's an actual friend. That's an actual family member. So you got so many people out here who don't want to get vaccinated and just taking it to a whole nother level of not putting on no mask and just thinking that everything's all good and all cool. Those are the ones that's making it worse for us. Those are the ones that's going to prolong this pandemic that it shouldn't even be that long. Knowing that there's a variant from COVID and not understanding that this one's 10 times worse than the COVID that is still out there, those are the ones that really need to get the ones I just cannot stand. And they're the ones that's going to make this country even 10 times worse. But for those ones that still wear the mask, even if they're not vaccinated, if the government want to work with the people that's actually still wearing the mask, still doing the social distancing, don't want to take the vaccine, those are the people that I can work with. Those are the ones we should give a consideration to. Because do we generalize a lot in this day and age? Yes, we do. Sometimes it's needed, but then sometimes it's not. And I think this time we need to make a distinction between people, the unvaccinated. You got those who just want to go out willy-nilly, like, I don't want to wear the mask and put everybody in jeopardy. And then you got those who don't want to get vaccinated, but still wear the mask and still keep the 6 feet apart. To me, I don't need to force somebody to get vaccinated if they choose not to, if they still follow the guidelines. But unfortunately, thanks to those people who just going to be reckless about it, it's going to happen. It's going to be a mandate that everybody's going to have to get the vaccine. And a lot of y'all probably going to be throwing rocks at me, but so be it. I put myself out there on Jump Street when I say this. I honestly am going to be for it. If everybody, because right now, what I predicted, and they're working on it now, that in the military, they are already putting mandates on soldiers that they have to take the vaccine. And that's going to happen in the civilian world. Jobs are already putting it out, saying that if you haven't taken the vaccine, you're out. And honestly, I cannot blame them. Because you got people like these anti-vaxxers that are going out there thinking that their freedoms are being taken away and all that stuff. And all they're doing is hurting the person next to them that is trying to live their life, trying to be safe, trying to follow the guidelines. They don't like wearing the mask as much as you do. But you are affecting their health, being selfish and just only worried about yours, and just getting your little feelings out there and getting all your emotions because you think your freedom of speech is being taken away. So I wanted to get that. I wanted to get that off my chest. I want to let everybody know there is a distinction. There is a difference between the I won't put beast or teacher, anybody that I'm cool with that still wear a mask, keep a 6 feet distance in that category. I put them as anti-vaxxers. There's a difference between the anti-vaxxers and the unvaccinated. Because the unvaccinated, they just don't want to take the shot. But they still going to wear the mask and they're going to keep the 6 feet distance and they're going to respect the people that did get vaccinated. Other than that, anti-vaxxers who just want to go out crazy with no masks and just think everything's back to normal again and that we should just stop wearing the mask and don't get vaccinated because they got all this stuff up in there. But that's a whole different story. So respect the people. I respect those that are unvaccinated that still wear masks and still keep 6 feet. But I'm going on record. But Beast, go ahead and take it away, dog.
My opening statement, I concur with him. As someone who personally doesn't feel as though they need to. I've always been a person who's been very careful about my health. I have very no choice about what the fuck I do. and what the fuck I allow into my body. And I take the same mentality that I have when it comes to a flu shot. I personally do not take a flu shot because I've never had the flu, even as a child. And the whole concept of me having to inject myself with something that I never had under the premise and theory that it will heal me doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And on top of that, I'm black and, you know, the whole Tuskegee Airmen and all that type of shit. So, got my historical reasons as to why I feel some kind of way. But nonetheless, I respect everyone's decisions. I respect everyone's choices. As long as you're safe, as long as you're being respectful to other people, there's nothing wrong with living your life as how you need to live. So I stand with him when I understand and I acknowledge too that, yeah, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be mandated. People like me are going to have a problem with it because I ain't with it. But I figured it out and I handled it as most respectfully as possible. If that means I got to go hide out in the woods and be a mountain man, so be it. I know how to take care of myself. I already got the beer started. Won't be no problem. But we all must remember to be respectful of everyone's decisions and everyone's choices, as long as they're not hindering your health or putting your health and safety in jeopardy. If we can be respectful in that, then we won't have to worry about the threat of someone putting our health in jeopardy. If you're respectfully 6 feet away from someone who doesn't have a mask and you want them to have a mask, well, you don't have to worry about getting it. You don't have to worry about getting it when you want to take it upon yourself to decrease that 6 feet distance to tell them about themselves. That serves no purpose. So let's be smart about this thing. Because I'm already at the point personally where I still feel like I got that fucking mask around my beard now. So I don't want to have to live that. So let's be smart, let's be safe, let's get this shit over. And I yield the floor.
Man, I'm so happy today. It's so Friday, and finally we do a show. The 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So let me go ahead and also add on to this anti-vaccine thing, and then we're gonna go jump into something else. So for everybody, and I'm talking about the anti-vaxxers out there, for those who keep sending videos of doctors, PhDs going to these town halls, sitting there saying that the vaccine doesn't work. Here's the 3 questions you need to ask yourself when you think that you're putting out something without understanding the truth. Not the facts, but the truth. Number 1, is that doctor a part of the frontline doctors? Let me elaborate this in the military sense. Why would you ask advice to a soldier who never deployed? If you want to go on a deployment, would you rather talk to somebody that's been there, done that, or somebody that never had?
Even better question. You have a lot of doctors that have doctorates and things that have nothing to do with medical, but due to their doctorate, you still have to refer to them as doctors. So how many of these doctors actually have that medical knowledge
Right.
that gives them that credibility to speak on what they're claiming to speak on?
Right, which lead me to question number 2. Are they practicing? Do they own a practice? And then also, what type of practice? Because there's different types of doctors. Hold up. More cases. There's more cases that would no. Okay, so this guy is on here saying that there's more deaths with the. No, there is not. No, there is not, sir. There is no more deaths with the vaccines. Just like with anything else. And that's another thing. That's another thing I want to hit on too, because once again, the new black media out here is actually posting out people who get Bell palsy after the vaccine or people that had deaths with vaccines. Everything has a risk. They even said that at first. Just like when everybody who sit there and said, well, the vaccine is not the one that's going to cure the whole entire COVID situation. That's right. A vaccine is not for being a cure. Just like with anything else that you have in this world, a car, airplane, things you eat, things you smoke. Right. Everything got a risk. Definitely with cigarettes. A Surgeon General warning is on the side of the cigarettes. So for you to say that more people are dying for the vaccine, that's only a handful. It's expected, knock on wood. I don't want to wish no deaths on anybody. Thank goodness I got vaccinated. I got both of the shots and I'm still standing, but I'm not going to put my experience on somebody else because there's many times I brushed close to COVID and thank goodness I never got COVID. I got a friend of mine that's currently going through his last week of being on COVID. So this thing is real. And for people to sit there and just hype these stories up on people getting the vaccine and they dying, tell me what other vaccine have people have died from or got warned from? H1N1, all that. So, sir.
Yeah. To answer that question, well, vaccines in general, there's always some case of adverse effects.
And I don't know this guy, sir. I don't know why you posting Israel. What do Israel got to do with anything? Okay. Israel got enough problems.
You're trolling right now. The question, the statement of vaccines. I myself have had adverse reactions off of the mandated vaccines that you need to be immunized for school.
Right.
So I remember taking that shot and ended up losing feeling in my legs for 12 hours.
Right. And they tell you, and here's the thing that people don't understand too. With any shot, they will tell you the warnings. They will tell you, do you feel comfortable getting this shot? Do you have this type of symptom? Do you got this? You got that? Da, 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 da. It's not like you're going to sit up in the chair and they're going to force you to give you a shot. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to let you know the side effects. They're going to give you the warnings. People, y'all fail to understand that. And this guy right here, he's
realize as well. And because this is something that came up in the midst of this pandemic, and it mirrors the financial decline of the stocks earlier, which is in times of global or economic crisis, there's always money stashed to the side to help cover and help insure.
Right.
And there were a lot of people there, a lot of hospitals receive extra government assistance and government aid off of the number of COVID cases. So a lot of people were misdiagnosed and mislabeled as COVID for monetary gain.
Right. And then also, sir,
same happens right now as well. Because I'm reading what he's saying, and I'm just
right. So when you say you're fact dropping, that's not fact dropping. Because one thing I'm asking, what's your source? What is your sources? It's easy for people to just say, look it up on Google. It's easy. But Google. When you look it up on Google, what's your sources? Because anything you search for, you're going to have these different articles or different places to go. What's your source? You're not fact dropping at all. This is kind of somewhat what you're doing, is trolling, because you just brought up Israel. we're talking about vaccines in general. We're not talking about one certain place. And Israel got enough trouble right now. What's going on with them? So, like, only thing I gotta say is this, sir. Anybody can do a Google search, but what Google has supplied for you, articles and places to go, where you getting it from?
Okay, if you ain't out here doing the search like the Dewey Decimal, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Right.
And for us older cats, you know what I mean. For you younger folk, that means go beyond. Don't just go to Google. Go to Google to find credible sites that actually have publications, have long-standing publications. That means they've been verified before internet. So the information that comes from them is truly direct, like Britannica, Webster, these type of areas. Mm-hmm. And do your due diligence there. Find that information. Treat this, you got to treat the world now like you writing a high school paper. You got to have your footnotes. You got to have your sources and your references. Don't just be out here saying shit and you can't say it came from this book by this author and you found it on this page.
And I always say on the show, and I put up Sarah Harmon. Sorry, I know you're retired, but I gotta call you Sarah Harmon. He said he got sources from Fox News. He put up this Office of National Statistics. I'm gonna check that out for myself. Let me see, because anybody can sit there and say some things like that. Because first of all, we wasn't even talking about Israel. We were just talking about vaccines in general. Hold up. He said official Office of National Statistics. Let me see. National Statistics. UK. Oh, listen to this. The UK's independent producer of official statistics and the recognized National Statistics Institution of the UK. What does that has to do with what we're talking about?
I stopped listening once it said independent.
What, sir? Sir, we talking about
that's equivalent of third party. That's the equivalent of saying third party. No, I'm good.
I'd rather get my information from the CDC. Period.
You are flawed, sir. Your knowledge is flawed.
Very. And Beast is unvaccinated and he's saying that. That's sad. That is sad. That's crazy. Because once again,
I gotta hit you with Venture Brothers. You are flawed, Sinclair. You must sterilize. You must sterilize.
And here's another thing too. So once again, going back to them showing up, let me see. Okay, I will spoon feed you the source. Spoon feed me the source. Come on, sir. You're not spoon feeding me the source, because anybody can say whatever stats they want to. This is not freaking the Daily Wire of having somebody like Ben Shapiro who sit there just speed talking stuff, and then later people find out what he was saying was bullshit. We don't do that on this show.
So please don't take my sarcastic comedy as condemnation or condescending. No, sir. I'm gonna make light of it because life is fun and a good laugh helps.
Yes, it does.
But make no mistake, good sir, we're speaking about vaccines.
Right. And what does
I feel what I feel about it, but at least I'm honest enough to say I have history, documented history that plays into my mentality as why to not the vaccine. I have my own personal holistic medical reasons. I understand my body, and I actually know what the fuck I remember what I've been through. I don't just go through life wanting things and not taking into account the things I already had. So I understand there's a difference. I'm not just saying it because I saw on Google or I saw on Facebook.
Right.
No.
Right. And he's still bringing up Israel. You just talk about one thing. That's not staying on subject. It's not staying on subject at all. You just talking about what we're talking about in Israel. We talking about in general. So, sir, stop.
Well,
Stop.
if you were to speak on this in a global sense while including Israel, then we would be more in line with your particular brand of thought. But as Donnell clearly stated, due to what's going on currently within that area, anything you got to say just seems like you want to talk about it. Because you got something you want to get off your mind about it, which is understandable, but this is not the time or the place for that.
This is not the time place. We're not talking about Israel, but nice try. Nice way to defer. And sir, we could just go ahead and entertain you. Come on, let's just go ahead. The reason why I brought up Israel, they're the first to mass. Okay.
What is that? Let's see. That is a bit. You should have led with that.
Right.
See, if this was some kind of way to try to make us feel like douches, I give you a 2 for effort.
Right.
Work on your execution. But that is a good point to make, because we did state that earlier about mass vaccinations, and there are already areas here that are doing it on a slow but social level.
Right.
Meaning areas where people want to go to and been wanting to go to, and they already done opened them up. So now it's like it's teasing you. So if you want to continue to go to the club, you got to go get that shot.
Which also, even with you saying all that, it still does not take away that getting the vaccine numbers of the deaths equate with the people who died from the freaking COVID. It's not going to equate, because you cannot say, well, look what's going on in Israel, and make that generalized thing with the world sitting there saying, watch out for the vaccine. So if you're trying to use Israel as a big example, you're doing a terrible job. You can't use one country and generalize it to everywhere. You can't do that.
And like I said earlier, when it comes to America and our analytics are flawed. Dumb way of saying our numbers are fake. It's already been admitted that many deaths in the beginning of this pandemic were labeled COVID in order for monetary tax benefits. Why would they not continue that process a year later? As long as the government is establishing money for the pandemic, and you can find your way to attach yourself to it to make yourself accessible, why wouldn't you do it? They're going to continue to do it. Yeah, especially if they're, like you say in the case of Israel, trying to mass vaccinate. You're going to have to take a more social, psychological approach with Americans versus everywhere else.
Yeah, so like I was saying, because I know exactly what he's doing. He's trying to use Israel to prove that the vaccine is just as deadly as the disease itself, which is not true. Because like I said, everything you do has a risk. Even drinking water has a risk. You just don't drink water. Because number one, there could be something in the water. Lead.
No. The reason why I say that is because I was just thinking about talking about that earlier. One of my favorite shows that I wish they bring back, 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh, yes.
And one of those deaths was actually a young lady who died of overhydration.
Mm-hmm.
All she drank was water. Yeah, me neither. You could die from drinking too much water, but they tell you need it. Yeah, but you don't need just water. And that's all she kept drinking. Opened up her pores and pretty much caused herself to have a heart arrhythmia.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can die from that. You could die from anything.
Yeah, simply the COVID deaths and hospitalizations are up at the vaccination compared to last year. But you talking about Israel, sir. You are trying to bring the argument on Israel to make it a generalization, saying that the vaccine is just as deadly. What you're doing here is
like
a
AI
disservice.
right
Yes, you are doing a disservice by putting out this false information. This is what the issue is with the world today when information has been put out right here. One thing, I've been following this dude called Conscious Lee. He always says research over me search. And right now, this is me search what you're doing. Because you are taking a country and trying to generalize it. He said, I'm not saying the vaccine is deadly, but you're comparing it. You are comparing it with the deaths of COVID. You are comparing it. This is what you said. So what are you trying to say? Am I tripping, Beach? Tell me if I'm tripping.
I mean, I'm smoking. And like,
anybody else?
If you're trying to, okay. Sir, if you ain't figured out by now, in spite of me smoking copious amounts of chronic, my intelligence is rather vast and higher echelon. So stop trying to act like you smart and you know some shit or you in the know. Use your words and be judicious with your verbiage. So you don't have to continually say, that's not what I'm saying.
Sir, this is what you are saying. This is what you're saying.
What's right is what you're saying.
Because right there you say COVID deaths are up, hospitalizations due to COVID is up after a year of vaccination. So you're comparing vaccinations and deaths. Like, dude, like now I'm totally confused. We could just go put you in timeout because I don't even think you know what you're talking about.
Go sit.
Yeah, just go sit over there. Sit over there.
Go. No music.
Sit over there.
No music. You look at the corner.
Yeah, please. Because you sit there saying I'm not comparing vaccinations and the deaths of COVID. What are you saying? What are you saying? I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna put up this I'm gonna put up this comment again. Let me see. I'm gonna let you handle that. And if I think of something, I'll follow you.
Let me read that out. And I can read good. COVID deaths are up and hospitalizations due to COVID is up. After a year of vaccinations, how is it hard to understand? Sir, let's do a little bit of math. Oh, since you're talking about simplicity, let me ask you a question.
Oh, I'm gonna sit back on this one. Oh boy.
Let me ask you.
That's one of your favorite words.
Yes, let me ask you a simple question, sir. At the beginning, the catalyst, if you will, of this pandemic, was it global? Or was it a small patient zero that escalated and amalgamated and assimilated the nation to the high numbers that we have now? If that's not simple enough for you, were there thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people that were simultaneously diagnosed and stricken with COVID when it first became globally known? Was it? I'll wait. While I'm waiting, I ask another part. Why would you not expect an obvious increase when there was only a little bit of people. So within a year, yeah, it's going to be a lot more. And yeah, it's still going to be a lot more a year after the vaccination, especially when it's already being mutated in the midst of the vaccination. So the vaccination is only amplifying and enhancing the mutation. You talk about simplicity, but your simplistic nature is rather on the ignorant side, sir. For you to really think that, oh, it's just, we just woke up. No, this is not Dawn of the Dead. We didn't just wake up one day and shit literally hit the fan. No. You saw a little bit of shit over here. It's more like Train to Busan. You saw a little random occurrence over here. You didn't think nothing about it. It kind of stayed in your head, but you didn't think nothing about it. Then you saw something else a little closer to home, but they still had nothing connected. Then you started to see the actual presence of it. And now we're in a full-blown, oh shit, it's here, run for your life. This is what the coronavirus and the pandemic has been. A slow boiling progression to the bullshit we are at now. Like all diseases, like anything naturally afflictive in life. Does it just hit? This is not trauma. Trauma could just hit your ass like a rabbit hook out of nowhere. This is something different. So the numbers that you're talking about were never stable in the first place, so they're not going to be stable now. They were always inflated. They will continually be inflated until 100 years after we've all survived this, or whoever has survived this and was able to write the history of.
Hey, so this is all the stuff that he's saying. Look, how it relates. You didn't drop no facts, sir. You didn't drop no facts. Not at all. This is also what you said. Unrelated to the subject I'm addressing, but nice try, though. Nice try. We should be telling you that. That should be just towards you, not us. Then he also says, don't worry, when you read through the chat history with the unbiased viewpoint, you understand. You just not willing at the... No, it's not no moment. No, not whatsoever. You are
Kind
just trying
sir.
to... Yeah.
Kind sir. I personally do not give a fuck about humanity. Creatures like you make me understand the devil. He had a point. In the grand fucking scheme of things, subterranean, ignorant peons like yourself, who's just tried to say big words and use false intelligence to feign intellect. You really pissed me the fuck off. I'm trying to be also eloquent and cool about it, but you were dumb smart ass. That's all I can say. That's as simple as I can put it. You were dumb smart ass. And if you want to have a engaging conversation with us, please do. What you're doing right now is just slowly making me feel like I was Jay and Silent Bob. And if I had the money to find you, I'd be pulling up on. This ain't the movie, so you ain't got to worry about that.
First of all, this gonna make you feel a lot better because it's our dog that haven't been on the show for a while. So, Dan, what's up, dog? What's up, Dan? What's up? I'm happy that I finally get to see him. But yeah, but let's look at all the other stuff that this guy is saying. So let me see. There's the first message I said. Let's see if you can understand it without bias. Don't worry, I got that. Let me go ahead. Let me get some of this. And then next time, compare the year's vaccinations with, once again, like I said, you got coming at me when I said you're comparing people who got compared to vaccines and people got vaccinated to the deaths from COVID, which
No,
you said
no.
was not comparing it.
I'm just gonna call it for what it is. You comparing people that's more worried about dying from being shot at randomly or bombed than people who are just worried about a bad cough.
Oh, he said you will resort to violence. Oh wow, from somebody who just sitting behind the computer.
I mean, well, my name is Beast Johnson.
Beast Johnson. But I mean,
My name is Beast Johnson.
Look, it is bold that this person will ever. It's bold for anybody to say something like that. Like, okay, I can really put my hand through this camera and just really choke you, and it can't handle a debate. No, sir, you're just getting owned. That's what's happening.
Unlike you, sir, that goes behind a keyboard to express your true feelings, I verbalize them in the real world, IRL, if you will. How I feel is completely unbiased, 100% of the times, because I don't give a fuck.
And
most of the things, most of the things, the vast majority of things that happen in this world are so fucking beyond my comprehension as a human being that to waste any fucking ignition of a spark of a brain cell about it would be better wasted trying to fit my thumb all the way up my ass.
I just love it how people are so bold to say those type of things in a debate. Dude, what you're presenting is undebatable. And I mean that in a bad way.
No, see, you thought with the name Beast Johnson that I would just be hood trying to sound smart. No, sir. I'm OG Nerd Thug. Yeah. I'm the dude that got straight A's and AB honor roll, but would still fight with the thugs after school.
Yeah.
You can't. This is a different debate you're dealing with, bro.
Right.
You can try to pull them cards if you want to.
This wasn't even a debate. This was a basic ass whooping because obviously this person haven't ever watched our show and how we get down on here. So, and the sad thing for anybody who just popped into the show, for this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and put him out here once again. This guy right here who's on our Twitch channel, don't forget to follow our Twitch page. I mean, it's the same thing he put. But for guys like this, he don't understand that we control the narrative here. And the sad thing is, beasts don't believe in getting vaccinated whatsoever. Me, I got vaccinated. But he respects that I got vaccinated as much as I respect him for not being vaccinated because he still wears the mask. Yeah, he wears the mask.
I'm not gonna knock this man for it.
Right. So 6 feet distance and all that stuff. And look, he just left a long ass monologue. Probably the same thing he just said.
Oh, I got the compare last year's case. Oh, we got to go dark web for us.
Oh boy.
Compare last year's cases and deaths in Israel, no vaccine, to this year with vaccine. What am I saying is wrong? I'm just saying Israel's deaths and hospitalizations due to COVID this year after mass vaccination is up compared to last year before the vaccine. Roll out. What is wrong here?
You just talking about Israel.
Talking
about Israel. You trying to use Israel as a base, as your I got you with the whole world. That's what you're doing. Because even though here in the States, we kind of had that, but it's still by choice. But eventually, a lot of people are going to have to take the vaccine. Like, for example, me being in the military, it's still a choice, but come September, they're going to make that shit mandatory for military service members to get the shot. So for you saying all these things about Israel and all that stuff, you realize you don't have an argument here. Now, if we was talking about Israel, you probably got maybe a leg, maybe a toe to stand on. But for this right here, you talking in circles.
If we were talking about the global implications of it, if we were talking about the UN declaring that all its corresponding allied nations will begin the process of mass vaccination after following the lead of Israel, then this conversation and information you would be bringing will be very pertinent. It will be very viable and be very willing and beneficial to the conversation. But none of that has happened. They chose to do mass vaccination. And if somebody else comes behind them, then we can have that conversation.
Right.
If all the nation leaders say we're gonna do it, then yeah.
Then also
speak your truth.
Right. And then here's the thing. Here's another question I pose. So you saying this mass rollout of vaccinations? What kind of vaccination was it? What was it? Was it Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson? What are we talking about? Which one are we talking about?
Good man. I'm glad you brought that up there.
Yeah. So which one are we talking about? It's like seeing even here in the States when you have people say, "Look, after I took the shot, I got Bell palsy." Okay, from which shot? I don't know. I just took the vaccination. Which shot? The Johnson & Johnson, because out of all the three, the Johnson & Johnson one, when it first rolled out, was the one that had all the issues and had all the problems. Which Johnson & Johnson had to recall all the vaccinations, had to go back in the lab, fix the problem, which they did, and they rolled it back out again. Only ones that have not had any issues and no problems is the Moderna and the Pfizer.
But you know what, though?
What's that?
The reason initially is actually, well, my conspiracy theory says the information is first, but the inclusion of the mRNA additive to Pfizer and Moderna is a modified structure of your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your DNA and you have your RNA. Those are two things that make up your genetic structure. So you have your deoxy, and then you have your ribonucleic. Same thing, basically. But the mRNA is a modified version of your RNA. So think of your RNA as the right side of your DNA structure. The left point is your DNA, the right point is your RNA. That mRNA comes in and it modifies your right side of your genetic code, changing it. So a lot of things that would afflict a normal human wouldn't afflict you because you're no longer considered a normal human. You're not considered trans because your genetic structure is different of that of a normal human.
Yeah.
So these things you all got to take. And this is not conspiracy theory. This is true information. This is an additive that's in the vaccines and it's not in the Johnson & Johnson. So many people that are taking the Johnson & Johnson actually haven't had any issues. And I've heard the actual opposite from many medical professionals and those that's like on the front line with it. Those that then got the shots themselves like, nah, I got Johnson & Johnson. I'm not getting that Moderna. I'm not getting that Pfizer. Like they're telling people, if you're going to do it, go get Johnson & Johnson.
You know what? Let's give this guy one more shot. Because it's common, because he really think that we're twisting his words.
I wasn't even trying to make an argument. You just twisted the stats again. It's a base of information of what mass vaccination has done to a country. Why are you trying to twist what I said is something different? No, sir, we're not trying to twist anything.
We're going by what you are saying. What we was trying to say in the first place.
Using voiceovers to make light of it. That's what I'm doing.
Like I said,
you took what I said completely in the wrong light, twisted it completely out of my intention. It's pathetic.
I'm trying to figure out what's so pathetic about it because once again you're comparing this mass vaccination that's going on in Israel to the COVID deaths. What you tried to say is you had just the same amount, maybe even more deaths after the mass vaccination. That's basically what you're saying. And
They
trying to
stated
use
earlier.
it as
Right, so
you try to use that as a base for you to say that's what's happening everywhere, which
but,
it is
but
not.
that's not.
That is not what is going on. They're not doing it in the States. They, like B said,
No.
they're slowly doing it, but they're
But
not
there's not enough.
doing it. Right.
The only other country that did any kind of mass uh, implications and implementation was China in the midst of when it first started. They locked that shit down and they got everybody right to where they didn't need to have a vaccine. And last I was informed and checked, China was the only country and area in this world dealing with the pandemic that didn't have to deal with the pandemic because they got this shit together.
Okay, sir. What are you saying? The one on the left is saying, so what are you doing saying that the vaccines are causing deaths before now backtracking? I never backtrack. I'm still sticking to what I'm saying. I don't know if you're talking about me or you're talking about Beast. But I didn't backtrack, and I don't think Beast backtracked neither. I didn't say where it's
if anything, if you're speaking to anything I said in reference to COVID deaths, I said that many deaths that are attributed to COVID are mislabeled. And that is due to the monetary gain and the profit that is made off of pandemics. Like,
right.
They're going for the next thing. It's the same. It's a similar move than when the bottom fell out on the stock market and the housing market dropped. They made sure them fucking banks had enough money to cash your paycheck.
Yeah, that's true. And then also
because they knew them banks ain't had no money. And your ass, if the bank ain't have enough money for you to cash your little $350 check that you made that week, that means they can't give no change to the businesses, and that's the fault. That's it. Shit. I can't get no money. That means money's useless. Why? Because the banks have all the money, and the banks don't have money. So I don't have money. They're going to make sure that didn't happen. So we're doing the same thing now with the pandemic. We got people dying. They're going to make sure that the hospitals and the medical industry and the healthcare industry has the necessary funding to put in that extra overtime.
Right. So I think he was gearing that to me, saying that I was touching back. No, I always remain the same, because you're comparing vaccinations, people who got it, this mass vaccination, to people who had COVID the year before, that died from COVID the year before. I never backtrack. You believe in that I backtrack, but that's great. Everybody has a right to a chain of thought, even if it is wrong. But here we go. He also said banks will always have money. Debt is money, more money, whatever. Anyway, let's go to our boy Dan. Vax or no, passports bothers me. If you leave the country, that's one thing. But within the nation, asking for papers, I'm a sketch on that. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that. And see, this is what happens when you have a logical discussion. Okay,
well, see,
we don't always want to lose the debate. You see that? And he been with
Dan, yeah. And when Dan goes to said, it goes along with what I was going to mention about you in respect to your military, armed service. If you are in a position or profession where you have to constantly not only be amongst society of your own civilization, but society in multiple civilizations in multiple countries. Daniel he's good here, but it might not be the same if they send his ass to goddamn Ecuador or fucking Morocco. So yes, it would behoove him, whether he wants to personally or not, to just go ahead and do it. The same for me. I don't want to do it, but if I got in a position where they want to sign me or pay me to go overseas and do some music, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Because I'm gonna have to get shots anyway for other things. So I might as well just go ahead and get that one too.
Yeah.
That's not me backtracking. That's just me being fucking honest about it and being logical.
Right. And so, like I said, now and I'm gonna put our boy Dan in the category with you, Beast. You know, unvaccinated, but I guarantee he wears the mask, social distancing. I know he hates it. Look, Dan, I hate it too. I think we all can agree that we hate it.
Fucking right.
But I did took a picture of my vaccination, the little card that they give you. Now, I don't know if they kind of started to do it over here where you have to show that you've been vaccinated nowadays. Not a lot of places do that, but some are creeping on doing that. And I kind of understand, but also at the same time, you know, you got your information up on you. You got your social security up on there. For us in the military, you got our DOD number. Even though our DOD number don't mean too much, but still,
it's still information that don't.
It's still information. Yeah. So Dan, I do agree with you on that one. I do agree that is pretty sketchy. Where I had to take my card everywhere. So I took the picture of mine, and I think I only showed it 2 times. One going into
I agree with you, and I have a lot of respect for Roy Cooper as my governor from North Carolina, because like the way it is now is kind of the opposite, where for the majority of the area wear a mask. And if you have your stuff on you, if you have your card on you and you are fully vaccinated, you're more than welcome to go in, no mask, no problem. If you don't feel like wearing a mask, you just forgot it, still social distance yourself and, you know, act accordingly and responsibly.
And see right there. Now we can have a logical conversation because that's actually true.
And see, that is information that comes from New York, because New York is the first state. Yep, New York is the first state to mandate that.
See, now we can have a conversation. Now we can have a conversation. All right, okay. So stop Googling. Just be you, and just let it come from the chest. Okay, let it come from
like that. You ready?
Ready. But you are exactly right, because New York has been the forefront. Actually, when COVID first started, it actually started over here where I'm at. Y'all realize that? It started over here in Washington and Seattle. And you realize once it left Seattle, it went to Oregon. And then from Oregon, it went to California. And then all of a sudden you kept hearing about California. And then all of a sudden you start to hear it in New York. You didn't hear anything about Seattle. You didn't hear anything about Seattle or Oregon. We basically became the ones that had it first to following the leader. And it sucks that Governor, soon to be ex-Governor Cuomo, whose numbers were through the damn roof. And then everybody thought that, you know, coming through the months that he was making some progress and all that stuff. And come to find out, those numbers were fudged.
Well, I said earlier, our numbers are false.
Yeah, the numbers were fudged. The numbers were not accurate. They had more cases than they were saying. That even for the numbers at the time, the vaccine wasn't out, but like they were saying, you know, not too many people recovered. So the numbers was worse than they were projecting or saying. And so with soon to be ex-Governor Cuomo, now he got that on his resume, not only for lying about the numbers, but now sexual harassment. I mean, I mean, that we could talk about.
Got me feel like Hulk Hogan over here.
Right. I know a lot of people got a lot of opinions on Cuomo. Because Cuomo, at first, the way that he was going, we kind of shifting gears because he brought up New York. The one thing, because Cuomo, at first, he was the Superman at the time. He was about to be Man of the Year because with him being the governor of New York, you know that old saying goes, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. One of the biggest cities in all of freaking America, maybe even in the freaking world. He was coming out there looking like a celebrity because his numbers were dwindling. His recovery rate was going up. I mean, they were saying, well, he's handling this pandemic. If we need a blueprint on how to handle this pandemic for all the governors, everybody wanted his book. They wanted Andrew Cuomo's freaking blueprint. They want his playbook. How you get your numbers down. And y'all know what I'm talking about. This is the same guy who had his brother who works for CNN had him as a guest on his show, and they went back at it like little brotherly love and all that stuff. I remember everybody would sit there saying,
"That's the funniest shit." Yeah. That was the funniest shit.
Yeah, that
because
was
they Italian. Because they Italian.
What they were talking about? Who they said who made the best meatballs, and he said that his mom said that he made the best ones. Y'all got it. That was fun. It was funny. I thought it was great television. But
well, mom likes me better. That ain't what she told me yesterday when I was helping to cook dinner. It's like, hold on, what? I heard that dialogue about with two men and a female. It usually is sexual. Like it's weird when you hear that type of dialogue. They talking about
the mom.
Mom always says I'm her favorite. That's weird. She didn't mention that yesterday when she came over. She was in church. She told me she was in. Yeah, want to see the video?
I think he did show the video of him cooking, and I think his mom was there. His mom tried his I think his sauce or something like that. It was crazy.
Talking shit to each other like I'm gonna tell mama.
I know, right? Hold up.
For two grown ass white men, I'm gonna tell mama.
Right. So let's see what Dan got. Dan wrote a big paragraph. COVID is hitting infrastructure on a global level. I work in international shipping, and there are currently 19 full container ships outside LA, Long Beach, within 3 weeks waiting period for port. The port of Richmond has more containers on them than before. 2 years ago, full container in China, 3K. Now it's 14K. Damn, 3 weeks. Container. Sorry to pull this, but not enough news outlets are discussing that.
I mean, no, it is true though, because when it first hit, the post office was at least up front here and told everybody like, look, go ahead and add on about an extra 3 days to a business week of 5 days on all your mail.
Mm-hmm.
It's not our fault. It's simply the fact that like this when Trump pretty much slashed the whole.
Oh yeah, he was trying to get rid of the He tried.
Yeah, so he got rid of, as far as the post office, he got rid of everyone on the inside that actually sorts and physically moves the mail and loads up the trucks. He got rid of them, so they ain't have nobody to actually move this mail for the mailmen. So it took him longer.
Right.
So that's not a surprise to hear that from any other shipping or logistical warehouse sense.
You know what? Since we talking about COVID, let's I think we kicked in the butt, vaccinated and the unvaccinated part. Let's talk more about the craziness that COVID has started, the businesses that it has exposed, like over here, for example. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not too far away from Seattle. And there was lots of mama and papa places that I usually would see. You know those places, those areas that you know that you in Seattle, or that you know you in Greensboro, that you know you're in Richmond. You just go by that one place, or you just been going up that place. You know you're there. It's part of the city's heritage, it's its lineage.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID hit, all those businesses were gone, and majority of them were mama and papa places. And I mean, that tore my heart apart, because people don't understand the city is basically ran on mama and papa places. It took me to come over here to realize that. And then going back home and just realizing, like, yo, these towns, it's not only just rural areas that got mama and papa joints, it's also in the cities. Like,
no, you talk about mom and pop spots. Like I just lost one here, and it's a beef burger. And if you ever seen them old school, like 50, 60 style burger spots,
get out of here. What?
It's like that, but it's no drive-in. It's no drive-in style. You just pull up, get in line, but it's that style of food. Fucking awesome. It's the only, when we talk about mom and pop spots, we talk about mom and pop spots that only take cash. They was taking cash when they started back in the 50s, and everybody in there too fucking old to deal with using swipe card or a chip. So the most technology they got in there is a fucking ATM.
Yeah.
That's by how much a card you're gonna use, but your ass still go in there fucking faithfully. Your ass sit in line. Look, I have never seen a single person complain about the wait time at a mom and pop spot like Beef Burger. And I've waited 30 minutes for my food.
Look,
but this shit tastes so goddamn good, it's worth the fucking wait.
Look, I haven't eaten nothing all day today, Beast. You're not healthy.
Hey, once at a time.
Get rid of the mama pop. You know what? I say this. I say this. You know me. I said it on the show. I don't believe in the Illuminati, but I do believe that there is a group out there that runs the world. I won't say runs the world. They got all the money in the world. We talked about the Bill Gates and all that stuff. They got the power. They got the influence. But do they got direct influence on my life? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say no. But this pandemic has really exposed a lot of businesses and hurt the mama and papa places. Because when I think about mama and papa places, it used to be the pizza places. I'm gonna see if Dan gonna come up in here. I hope he's still on.
Those are the spots that are affected by what the information Dan gave us. All those containers that have been sitting there for years and extra months on end before they finally got delivered. Those weren't for Walmart. They damn sure weren't for Best Buy or Food Line or Kroger. No, it was for the little mom and pop spots. They was for the drive-in diners.
Yeah. And
they was for the little corner convenience stores.
Right. We're not just talking about food places, but like when I think about mama and papa joint, I usually would think about pizza places, because I like to go into the real, not Italian places where the freaking pizza is soggy with the grease on top. You have the bender, and it's not only in New York, y'all.
I want drunk man pizza. I want pizza that tastes good to me, sober at 2:00 in the afternoon on a sunny Saturday, and drunk off my fucking ass to the point of incomprehensive speech at 6:00 in the morning. Oh, I forgot what day it is. That's the pizza we talking about.
Yeah,
is it Saturday or is it Sunday? Or is it Sunday? Or is it Monday? I forgot.
And the pool game is ridiculous. When you just definitely, if you got like a whole, as y'all call it, pie, I still call it, pizza. I don't call it.
We talking about pizza places that got the little salt, the little round shakers, the wide fat shakers, or the crushed red pepper, and then Parmesan. You just
and
like it's a coat. You just dust it in it like it's a cold party.
And then also they still got the freaking like the Parmesan still got the little crust and cracks still up on there, and you still got the freaking red peppers on the top right there, but you know it's been used. Nobody ain't watched it. For some reason, it just made the pizza taste better, but that's just me.
That's why I say you gotta hit that motherfucker like.
I feel you. And so now it went from I still got the pizza places, but it switched from me being with the soul food joints. I have seen a lot of soul food joints here, and I'm talking about that soul food place, and I'm gonna see if Dan. I think Dan. I hopefully he's still here. He probably still typing or whatever. But Dan, you know those soul food joints, man, in Virginia. I know you know some soul food joints up there in North Carolina, Beast, where you just bite into the fried chicken. Like I just had it's called Communion up here. My girlfriend wanted to go, and we went and took the bite of that fried chicken. Oh my gosh, Beast! Oh,
you can't have no food place named Communion, and say it's got soul food. That's the only time black folk actually eat in the church. Let's be technical about it.
That is true. Go right down to the basement.
No. Communion. No. We talking about communion. Every time you hear the word communion, you know you about to get that little tasteless ass little wafer cookie. But you're gonna get you some nice tart, sweet Welch's. It's gonna hit the spot. You ain't got to get up. Look, you be almost happy too on long-winded sermons, and they tell you it's communion. You be like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." Water machine broke. I ain't bring no water. My mouth dry. You waiting to get live. You ready to drink that blood of Jesus. Like, quench my thirst and bless me of my sins, Jesus. God bless.
Look, you taking me back to vacation Bible school where I remember that because it's like because you remember you had how they split it up. You had the intermediate, the primary. And then you had the senior. I probably got that wrong, but I remember those. I remember being in line because you go by, go in order. Young kids go first, then intermediate, primary, and then the seniors. But the seniors, they're the ones that's cooking the food anyway.
That's
so they were all right,
and
they got done. But the
Sister Charmaine said. Sister Charlotte and Sister Paula, they still down there cooking up the sides, and Brother James is finishing up the last plate of ribs. Y'all let the babies go first,
right? So they already had the cookies and already had the Kool-Aid that had no damn sugar in it. For anybody who the church, First Baptist Church and Union Prospect, okay. I can't believe I still remember both of those churches. Union Prospect was the one with the basement, and no, I lied. Union Prospect was the one with the attic.
Okay,
First Baptist Church and First Baptist Church was the one that had the basement. I always thought Union Prospect was like a come up for some reason.
You got to remember something. You got to remember something about the black churches. 87% of them got diabetes to some level. Can't take so much sugar.
Look, that is true. But
look, now they kill themselves over some sweet tea, but that Kool-Aid got to be tart in the motherfucker.
Look, but you there with little kids, and they only give you like 5 cookies. Like sometimes I even see kids. Look,
that's you don't want the kids too sugar rushed up neither. Don't put a whole bunch of sugar in there. They be running around here bothering everybody.
Look, the crazy thing is some of the kids, they had parents or aunties that work with the scenes, that work with the church, so they got a little bit more extra cookies. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of snuck a couple of cookies, but still, the principle is right. The principle was they would have it all set up, and they had 5, and you only had 30 minutes to finish because you had to get up, and other kids had to come in, and they still got the 5 measly freaking cookies in that small ass tray that had no sugar. It was just like, okay, y'all gotta get up. Time for arts and crafts. I mean, arts and crafts. And then
after Bible school.
Yep. Then after arts and crafts, then you went back to your homeroom. You go over with whatever scripture, because every vacation Bible school, they had an agenda. They had an agenda of like a verse of the Bible, and the whole vacation Bible school, it's going to be about that. You will progress in that freaking agenda until like the last day, which was a Friday.
We got the general.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I miss those days. I even miss the fights that usually happen because I was a very bad area where one time there was a fight that happened off the bus, and the bus driver was trying to go break it up.
Only black churches.
Look. But here's the thing. He forgot to put the damn bus in park. So when he got off the bus is going backwards.
Only black churches.
This was an old man too. Rest his soul. I don't know if he's passed away. I don't know if he's still alive. But either way, bless his soul. If he was in the military and he was trying to run the 2-minute mile, he would have passed it as fast as he ran to the damn bus. Because that man was in his. He had to be up in his 50. He had to be 55. He had to. I have never seen an old man ran that fast like he did. He was already on that bus. And not to mention, he did the freaking Snoop Dogg in his freaking low ride. That's exactly how the bus.
Like, nope. I'm not about to catch no charge. I ain't about to go to jail over these babies.
Hell no. That dude ran that bus. But lucky for him, though. Lucky for him that he kept the door open. The door that swings open, he kept it open. He didn't shut it. So that was his saving grace. You didn't even know he jumped. He was already in the seat. Man, that was quite a story to tell my freaking folks. But other than that, so many memories.
Hey, baby, how was Bible study? Well, such and such got to fight, and when they got to fight, the bus driver tried to break it up. When he forgot to park the bus, so we started rolling. Right. So we got a good couple feet. What? Right. And we look back and he was just running.
Right.
Your kids gonna tell the truth. That shit gonna be funny as hell.
Yo, those were the days. I'm telling you, for anybody who had look, vacation Bible school. I actually went to a white vacation Bible school. They do things a whole lot different.
Oh man, I could only imagine.
I mean, I tell you this: they know how to feed you. It won't no 3 cookies or nothing like that. They feed you.
Now, that's a Southern thing, right? The Southern Baptist churches down here. It's one particular church. I have seen it. I have seen this bus my whole fucking life, and I feel like it's a cult because this bus only drives to the projects every Sunday and picks up all the black children. And it's just random ass white people in church gear hopping out into the middle of these ghetto ass ratchet neighborhoods, picking up these ghetto ass baby kids. And it's like this Partridge Family bus are just an amalgamation of hood children from across the city. And I went to school with a lot of them, and they used to tell me stories like, man, you should go, man. Like, it ain't nothing like the regular churches we go to, man. You ain't even got to be in the service. Word, man, they take you downstairs. You be watching cartoons and shit. Yo, man, they fucked around. These niggas came back to the hood one day. Every child had their own box. Let me specify this. This is 1980s now. Every child came back to the hood with their own fucking box of Little Debbie snack cakes.
Hold up. Whoa. Stop. Before you go, because that happened. Go ahead.
See? I done sparked up a repressed memories. So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They don't give them the little cheap dollar jungle juices that we get with that damn fucked up ass aluminum foil. That if you ain't get all of it off, it was gonna fuck your lip up something vicious.
Yep.
You tasting your blood with that red Kool-Aid. No, they give you real cans. Then they give you little gift bags and little goodie bags and shit to take back to the hood and impress the other little ratchet children that didn't go because their parents love them and make them go to a black church. So I'm sitting here like, Mama, can I go to school? Can I go to church with them next Sunday? It's like, ask your daddy. Daddy, can I go to church with the hell the fuck no? You know. He's like, because they're not teaching you. It's like, because they're not teaching you about Jesus. And I never understood it till I got older. And I'm like, why the fuck do I? Is that the same damn bus from 19? It's the same fucking bus. still picking up this little nappy.
Look.
My daddy was right. See, My
Look.
I knew some shit wasn't right.
But Beast, I can't believe you mentioned that because that is so true. And anybody who knows what Beast is talking about, what I'm about to add on to, if you should have said that this is not true, smack yourself. Smack yourself because I'm living proof of that. I put you like this. It wasn't a vacation Bible school. It was more of like a yearly thing because I remember it was either Mondays or Wednesday. It got so popular that Mondays were for the young kids. Wednesday was more for the adult teenagers. And at the end of the year, we all went to Busch Gardens. We all saved up for it. Busch Gardens in Virginia. And I remember when we went to Busch Gardens, like, because you know, who owns Busch Gardens? Was it?
I don't know, but for those that don't know, for those in the South that know about Busch Gardens that don't know, Busch Gardens is like the upper echelon of amusement parks and themes.
It's our Six Flags. Yeah, that's our Six Flags.
Before there was Six Flags, before y'all knew what Six Flags was, you had Busch Gardens.
And they
like for me, it was Carowinds. Now Carowinds was part of King's Dominion. King's Dominion was part of Carowinds.
Because it's funny because Busch Gardens is more closer to where I used to live, and King's Dominion is almost on the other side, freaking the state, which is fucking crazy.
It's posted. No, because it's posted. Because King's Dominion was the add-on. Because where Carowinds is in North Carolina is technically it's right on the exact border of North and South Carolina. Oh, wow. It's right there. So they built it. So when you're walking, so technically you can start walking. If you walk in North Carolina and then walk to the opposite end of the park, you're officially in South Carolina.
Oh, wow. Because
and back and forth. They just did the same thing with King's Dominion. They put it right there on the border between two different states.
I'm trying to figure out what soda company. I think it was actually Pepsi. Yeah, because Busch Gardens is owned by Busch Beer because they got the factory right there, the brewery right next to the freaking park. So before we left, they had machines where when you order a drink, because I was getting a Crush. Even though it's a Pepsi product, I like, you know, because no Coca-Cola's there, so I get like an orange Crush or a grape Crush. So I went to go get a Crush. Next thing you know, free. Doop. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I said, is something wrong with this damn machine? And this is when the drink was just $1.
You hear that double, like, hold on.
Oh, yeah. Drinks were just $1. So I'm like, what the heck? I said, I had so many ones to spare. I said, shoot. I said, shoot. Basically, I buy one and get another one for free. Hell. And then my cousins look, my cousins even came over there. And he was like, yo, man, how many drinks you gonna get? Like, how you get these many drinks? I said, you just buy one and you get the other one for free. They're like, word? I'm like, yeah. Man, even I still remember his name. Pastor Bill even came over. He's like, "Hey y'all, we gotta go." And he said in a very nice tone voice, he said, "Hey y'all, we gotta get ready to go because it's about to get dark." And we're like, "Pastor Bill, you don't understand. $1 for a drink, and we get a double for free." And he was like, "Huh?
What?
Yeah." So when we got all of our drinks in the bag. We got drinks in the bag and all that stuff. I'm gonna tell you what he did. He like, "I need y'all to go to the bus," and he said, "Just go to the bus." He's like, "All right, cool, Pastor Bill." Got drinks. This sucker. Zip. He came back. He thought we didn't see his ass. He came back with this. He came back with I think he had like at least 6. He had his kids up on that. I think he had his wife too. So he passed it to them. That bus like, "You just told us to get to the bus and look what you did."
No, because y'all just learned a lesson from the Bible. And it says that God has a way of using youth
yes.
to shine wisdom upon the elders. And there's an actual Bible verse that says, it ends with, "And the little child shall lead them." And that's what that pastor saw. And he had a prophet. He probably told one mean sermon come Sunday, and had everybody in that bitch rocking, talking about how buy one get one free. He used it in the sermon and had all y'all niggas laid out on the floor.
Oh,
I know he did, because I know he was thinking that to himself. Well, God, won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Hey, that I'm telling you, those were one of the great times I've had. From that church. That was an all-white church. They accepted us, and it was crazy. We all sat back, we listened, and all that stuff. Even though my cousins, you got those cousins that just want to cut up, but still, even when they cut up, they enjoyed them being there, and they learned something, which is pretty cool. But yeah, when you brought up the freaking Debbie cakes and all that stuff, it was a kid. It was a kid whose father, I forgot what the cakes are called. I'm seeing it in my eyes, but the name's not hitting me. Was it Swan's Cakes or something like that? Swan's Cakes. I forgot his name, but I know it has a swan. So one of the kids, because I knew he got picked on in school. He was one of the nerdy guys, and I rock with the nerds. So any nerds out there, I'm cool with y'all. So his dad was actually, I think he was one of the delivery drivers. He would take a shipment, drop it off at the stores and all that stuff. And I told him, I was like, "Man, your dad works there?" And I thought it was like the greatest thing because they had a nice house. They was out in the woods. They was basically on their own land. Like it was like let me see, probably like another 20 feet away from somebody else's house, but still nothing but land, big yard, big backyard too as well. I mean, basically, nice as hell. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, "Dude, your dad, y'all live out here?" Like, "Yeah." I said, "Your dad's a delivery man with the cakes on the side?" He said, "Yeah." And I thought it was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm like, "Oh, snap." I said, "I do like the cakes and all that." So I said, "You think if you have any, you think you could give us some?" He said, I talked to my dad. Guy turned out to be pretty cool. Every time I saw him in school, I'd be like, "Yo, what's up, man?" So one day, he actually came in and I think his mom was at the bus. I was like, "Oh, snap." I don't think if his mom see all these black kids on the bus, hopefully she don't turn around and be like, "Son, you ain't coming." No, she came up on there. They gave one to Pastor Bill. Pastor Bill wanted that's his name, Pastor Bill. Gave him the cinnamon roll ones. I got my freaking dark chocolate covered donuts. I got mine. I mean, he had everybody's favorites. He had everybody's favorites. He passed it out to everybody. She was passing it out. She was like, "Yeah, I heard." She's like, "Who's the one that who brought that up?" I was like, "It was me, man."
I'm on. I'm gonna take that. I'm on the now.
She was like, she said, I've never heard somebody get so excited about cakes, these cakes and all this stuff. Because we always get them because, they have an overshipment. And, there's some that are left over and all that stuff. They say, we always have them in the house and all that stuff. And we just try to get rid of them. I was like, I'm surprised. Now I know where we can drop it off to now. Drop it off with y'all now. I was like,
we will definitely take them.
Yeah. Shoot. Me and my cousin and everybody else on that bus. Thank you.
We respectfully and graciously accept this. Thank you.
Right. I think my brother, somebody got the powdered ones too. I think it was, I'm trying to figure out who it was. Was it my brother? Somebody got, my other cousin, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he got the powdered ones. And them
he do drugs now. That's why you ain't gonna mention his name. He do drugs. Let's be real. As kids, you always picked on the kid that ate the powdered donuts. You're like, man, you gonna be a cokehead when you grow up. Look at you.
Speaking,
just like picked on the kids that had to use it, eat the pixie sticks.
Oh, speaking of
or the retard that was sniffle.
Oh my god! Now, speaking of that, since we going topic by topic, this is what Soul Sunday is all about. Soul Friday is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to let y'all know. So now you got me thinking about donuts. Now, instantly, I guarantee you, when I just said donuts, Krispy Kreme came to mind, did it?
Yeah.
I remember one time when I heard Krispy Kreme, I only think of like fundraising. That's the only time I got around Krispy Kreme. You know the donut that I grew up on? Yes. Yes. Because you remember the time Dunkin' and the Simpsons was like this at one time.
Well, see, because we used to have Dunkin' here too, and it was kind of like competing. But as a fat kid, this is what give Krispy Kreme just that blue magic edge.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
I don't give a fuck where you at in your city. You forget where the fuck you are for about a good 10 seconds. If you drive past a Krispy Kreme and just so happen to see that hot and fresh light pop the fuck up. You immediately start analyzing where the fuck you at, and like your mind becomes a supercomputer. You start thinking, do I have enough for a full dozen? Yes, I do. B, how can I quickly bust a fucking U-turn and get back to that bitch right now? You already trying to figure out how many illegal turns you need to take, how much gas you need to waste to bust your ass right back over there. Why? Hot and fresh, hot and ready.
I realized that with Krispy Kreme though, because it was a long time ago.
Dunkin', they never did that.
No, they did not. Dunkin',
they got good breakfast though. Now they breakfast, but if you just want you a donut, and
but see, you touched on something with Krispy Kreme, because I remember one time with my cousin, we was driving.
That light bulb, that light of fucking light bulb, boy, if it pop up at the wrong time.
Look, we was driving to Richmond. She was driving to the Social Security place to get my Social Security card, and she slowed down next to a Krispy Kreme. I said, why are you slowing down? She was like, oh, the light's not on. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I was like,
damn right.
So, so when after we leave from the Social Security place, traffic, everything, we on the other side of the street. There's a little median in the middle. And she slows the car down. Even though we got cars on our left and our right, she slows it down and she sees it. Oh, the red light. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like,
bitch, donuts.
Tell me why, when she saw the first intersection to make a U-turn,
hit that motherfucker corner.
I was like, oh, is that serious? And then what leads me to here now. So when you were talking about like how crazy it is to drive and all that stuff, so right now they're building. The closest Krispy Kreme's in Seattle, but the one that I'm talking about is the one down in Tacoma. So right now they got construction being built over there, which interferes with their drive-through, so you couldn't sit there and go through like you usually do. So now it's one way in and one way out. So I go there, even though they fucked up my order. I asked for just 6. I said, just give me 6 and give me, your iced coffee with whipped cream on top. Didn't have whipped cream on top, and I think it just gave me just a regular coffee with ice, which I was highly. But here's the thing. So as I'm driving out that one way, I'm driving the other way where you can see the sign. So some said, Morris, look on your right. Red. I was like, son of a bitch. and the next thing I know, as I'm driving, everybody and their mama was going to the Krispy Kreme. I was like, son of a bitch. But going back on Dunkin' Donuts was just like, get it while it's hot, basically. They didn't have no warning. You basically just walked in, and you just lucky if they're just fresh out the oven, freshly glazed, drizzled, and all that stuff.
Dunkin' Donuts is exactly what his name is from. These is donuts for Dunkin'.
Yeah, that's true. You ain't lying. They're
here for doing this right here. Break it down. You eat Dunkin' Donuts with your hands, not hand up, hands. Krispy Kreme, you get real fat to the level of pornographic.
That's true. It does got a little hole up in there.
Yeah, because I tell myself, a fresh. I mean, when I say fresh, I mean fresh. You can still taste the heat, but it's just cold enough to where the damn glaze. It's got a nice, soft but crunch to it. So you're gonna get a little bit of that glaze in your hand when you bite in. Krispy Kreme, you just like literally.
Yes, I try not to, but please, oh
God, everyone tries not to, but
Beast,
this is a safe space.
Did you try it with milk?
I mean, after I've had my food, after I've been fat and I need to damn force this shit down my stomach.
Beast,
cold bath of milk. Oh man, what?
Beast, I call it the I had to do my clumps, professional clumps. I would take the donut either depending on the size of the cup. So I got like a red Solo cup. I just take that sucker and it's hot too, and I just dip it. Oh my gosh, it's like the milk just instantly just soaks in. It's even better after you just bite into it, and all that milk just go right into that donut, and it just warms up, sweet. See,
so we fat kids right here.
I tell you, I'm
I
having
never lied about it. Who or what I was at any point. I'm a fat kid. Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm just thinking about it now. I'm just like, dude, do not. Look at that, dude. Do not. There's not no try.
Don't do nothing. There's no try. Well played, sir. That is a dad point. That is a dad.
Look,
yes.
Look here.
Yes.
Look, Dan. Look, I'm gonna tell you how gangster Dan is. He's that type. You would sit there. Look. You can sit there. You can be like, man, I'm on a diet, man. I'm trying to hold back. Dan be like, you see this? You see this? You see this Krispy Kreme? Not to mention warm. I got it when I was hot. Hold up. He will torture you. He will bring the donut to your face and just be like, hey, donut getting kind of lonely.
No. Dan is that asshole friend that will sit there but that will purposely come over and just check in with you. Like, hey, man, what's up? Hey, you sweating because your ass done worked out, drinking some kale, turnip, broccoli juice.
Impossible Burger.
Yes, it's impossible. It's impossible that it's impossible that you ever gonna make me eat something that ain't meat and tell me that it's meat. No.
I'm sorry, that is me. But yeah,
I'm an omnivore. I'll eat grass. I eat vegetables. I'm not just some fat carnivore. I eat vegetables. I like broccoli. I like beans. I like tomatoes and whatnot. I eat them. You ain't got to lie to me. You ain't got to taste a cauliflower or eggplant and make it taste like bacon. Bitch, just cook it right.
That's true. That is true. But with that being said, that Krispy Kreme donut, oh my gosh. Now you got me thinking about it. And Beast, you almost about to skip over.
You got me thinking about exes. You got me thinking about folk I don't even like to deal with no more. I'm like, damn. I remember when that person was working there, boy. Oh, I'm talking about like 2 dozen for like 50 cents. Like, God, I don't even really miss her so much as I miss the hookup from Krispy Kreme that I was getting.
Oh, I'm mad.
Like, I miss her. I miss her working there. That's what the fuck I miss.
Oh, God dang it, Beast. I'm mad now. You had the hookup.
You mad. I'm mad she don't work there no more. I'm mad they got rid of I'm mad that they closed the building down afterwards. So now ain't no Krispy Kreme on my side of town. So shit, it's a good little walk from my house, but fuck it, it's Krispy Kreme. I'm gonna gain all that fat back anyway.
Right. I mean, you're already working it off while you're walking back. You just try to save it until you get home. So like,
what you doing? What you doing? Oh, I'm just trying to work off this 2 dozen I'm about to go grab. 2 dozen. Oh yeah, man, I got to buy one, get one.
Now,
and they got the pumpkin spice. And you know it's fall, right? So you know they got the pumpkin spice joints.
Oh, pumpkin spice.
Yeah. They got the pumpkin spice with the ginger hazelnut cream on it, nigga. Oh, nigga, let me walk with you, shit.
Look, I'm telling you, I forgot about that, but let's not sleep on Dunkin' Donuts, even though there's not. I don't think it's a Dunkin' Donuts here, but I forgot. But there's a couple of Krispy Kremes here, but don't sleep on Dunkin', ladies and gentlemen. Don't sleep on Dunkin'. Dunkin' do got, to me, if you want to talk about legends in the game of donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, you gotta have that up there, like at least your top 5. Dunkin' Donuts has been the game. I mean,
I think of Dunkin' Donuts, I think of them cop donuts, like yeah. I think of,
but I think of it more of like with the Simpsons because Dunkin' Donuts at one time was work for me. They was with the Simpsons, but now look where the Simpsons gone to now. Now the Simpsons are with Krispy Kreme.
So I also look at this like Dunkin' Donuts is a bakery style spot versus Krispy Kreme. Regular spot. No. You get donuts. That's it. They might have a couple bear claws and some apple fritters in there, handful of them, but bitch, you go in there for donuts.
Yeah, sure.
You gonna get donuts, donut holes, and jelly filled, and maybe something else. Whereas you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you definitely gonna get a cruller, bear claw, the other pastry, confectionery sweets that they have. You're more liable to find them at Dunkin' Donuts or a better section and selection at Dunkin' Donuts versus Krispy Kreme. And let's be real, you're going to Krispy Kreme for that goddamn glaze. You don't give a fuck about nothing else. Oh, y'all got apple fritters? Fuck that. Give me 12 dozen fresh glaze. Thank you.
And the thing is, I like their Oreo covered one, the Oreo ones that the Krispy Kreme got on point, even though Lisa say that's the only thing you get is Oreo flavors. Oreos the shit. Speaking of Oreo,
they got Reese's.
I haven't tried the Reese's one yet. But speaking of Oreo, they just opened up in Pennsylvania. They opened up a freaking shop up there. That's gonna be one on my bucket list to go there to try that diabetes of ice cream cake that they got. But
this is another thing about Krispy Kreme too that I forgot. I just thought about it. Even when they ain't got the hot and ready, they're constantly like the way they have them set up now. You can just go in there and do little mini tours in the stores.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like when you walk in now, they have the back opened up.
Oh, okay. I see
where,
what you're saying. I know what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, you can actually see them come off the conveyor belt.
Oh.
As soon as you walk in, you can just see a whole line of fucking donuts coming off
Just
getting
go up.
glazed.
That conveyor belt, that the big one. I think the reason why they make it big is because they need to produce that many freaking type of donuts. Because
yeah, the way they have it arranged, the only one they have here in Greensboro, it's kind of like all the bigger pieces are in the back of the store hidden, where you're coming in as the customer is toward the front of it.
Yeah, drop it.
Yeah. So you're seeing it drop. You're seeing it hit the conveyor, come through, get glazed, get heated, come around for them to pull off. That's how they have it set up. Because they actually have families that will come in there, especially around fall time, because they do the signature.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta give Krispy Kreme on that one. They know how to do that seasonal. Don't get it twisted. When they do that seasonal, like when you bring up the pumpkin spice, you ain't lying about that. They're like I've never been a pumpkin spice guy until like these past couple years. I'm like, pumpkin spice not that bad, for being seasonal. And then when they put it on the door, I have not tried the donut yet, but I tried everything else that's sweet, and I've been impressed. I've been highly impressed. So when Krispy Kreme comes up with that, I'm definitely jumping on it. But Peace, we gotta go ahead and get to the community. I'm sitting there getting you hungry and all that stuff. So with that, he's also gonna close out the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Thank y'all for tuning in for Soul Friday. Like to thank everybody, including that spirited debate that we had. So as your gracious host, I have been done at Elementary Force. Thank y'all for tuning in. But now we're going to have, for the first time ever on this show, we're going to have the community, Beast community, close out the show. And with that, once again, y'all have a great Friday and enjoy. Not only enjoy, get y'all ass up in this car and let's go ahead and go into the community. Beast community.
Since we're talking about different beliefs and different understandings, let's talk about that in the community, because you really get a chance to talk to your individual and neighboring community members, you will realize that all y'all think different. And at least one of them, you're probably going to think to yourself, that motherfucker a little weird. But understand that at least one of them is probably thinking the same about you as well. So, taking the stride. But it's often that these different thoughts and different perceptions of things are seen as the divisive contributions to a community, when actually they are the adhesive and the actual conjoining components. It's because you happen to have this thought process on this versus my opposite opinion, that we were actually able to engage each other anyway. It was through this opposing thought process that we actually found common ground and found common interest within each other. And it's part of the fact that I myself might feel as opposed to vaccines and you feel pro, and went as far as to get them and everything. It does not negate the fact that we have a mutual respect and tolerable admiration for each other, to the point where I will be in defense of them and likewise, vice versa. These are the type of mentalities that you really want to uphold and keep to when it comes to your communities and building your community. Understand that not everyone's going to think the same as you. Because that would be fucking boring and fucking crazy. At least for me, because I think weird. So I don't want everyone thinking like me. And I damn sure don't want to think like someone that thinks lesser than me. But I can respect how a person thinks as long as they can respect how I think. No matter the degree or level of thought that's put into it. That builds my community because the things that we do share common bonds with, we can build from, we can accentuate, and we can enhance. And our minor debates or issues are just that, minor. They're just happenstance of our interactions and relationship. Yeah, they're pro-choice and I'm pro-life. But he's a hell of a contractor. And his kid wants to be a musician, so I help him. In return, he helps me learn how to build my deck up. See, we build. I love my neighbor. My neighbor's cool. Just wouldn't talk to him about politics. Simple shit like that. The basic truth is you can respect someone's differences without losing respect for them and losing respect for yourself and how you act. I can disagree with you. I can view things differently, but it doesn't mean that I have to think of you lesser and treat you less of a person or human because we have opposing thoughts. That's just an aspect of life. If everyone thought right, nobody would be able to see what's coming to the left. If everybody only looked up, nobody would see what was in front of us, nor seeing what's behind us or right there at our feet. So it helps the world, it helps the global community, the galactic community, the interspecies community, that we all see things from a different vantage point and we all handle things from a different vantage point. We just have to be mindful that, like mathematics, the more complex the issue is or the more understanding that is needed for a particular subject or issue or problem, the more viable answers and viable routes for that answer can appear. 1 and 1 makes 2, that's it. But to get 10, I could do 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6. I can do 5 twice. Or I could do combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 plus 2, 3, 3, 6, 6, 4, 10. All equals 10. Some routes have more moves. Some paths have less moves. But they all get you to the same point. So no matter how you see it, understand that there could be an easier or more efficient route seen from a different vantage point. And acknowledge that and accept it. And then your community can be a lot more efficient and productive. A little more like one of the Benetton days. Everybody just happy. Everybody look different. But everybody happy. Because everybody know how to handle their shit when shit go on. So embrace the differences. It's the only way that we will actually come together and be the same. I thank you for coming to my community, hearing me ramble, hearing me rant. Hope you found some bit of intelligence and enlightenment within it. And overall, thank you for coming by to the show. Thank you for that spirited debate earlier from the young man. Like I said earlier, be better with your words. And we can avoid a lot of unnecessary words. Y'all have a great weekend. Party hardy or party safe. Whatever you do it safely, do it with love. Love y'all. Now I'm out. Y'all be easy.